Yoda was a pretty powerful Force user, so was Palpatine. So naturally you'd think these two are each other's biggest threat. Well, you'd be wrong, and here's why. Palpatine actually viewed little old Qui-Gon Jinn as his real threat. As we see in one of the main messages of the Clone Wars, the Jedi really cared about politics. Some would argue too much, but that's not for me to decide. Qui-Gon Jinn, however, did not care for politics, but was rather only concerned about the will of the Force. The reason he wasn't on the council wasn't because he wasn't deemed good enough, but was because he chose to follow the Force in his own manner. This meant, unlike his master Count Dooku, he wasn't vulnerable to joining the dark side because his connection to the light side was too strong.
Hi, it's me from the future. When Qui-Gon's, let's call her, lover was murdered, he did actually tinker on the edge of turning to the dark side. But luckily, he didn't turn. But that whole saga is not a story for now.
His willingness to follow the Force over the Council made him far more dangerous to Palpatine's plans. Put simply, him not essentially being under control of the Council's outdated ways allowed him to follow the Force more freely. Qui-Gon also had a pledge to train Anakin, and Obi-Wan's a cool guy, but he was inexperienced, so I'm sure Qui-Gon would have been much more successful in training Anakin. Qui-Gon stopping Anakin turning to the dark side would have most likely prevented the entire galactic civil war as well, so pretty key detail in Palpatine's plans. If Qui-Gon had survived the events of the Phantom Menace due to his unique connection to the Force, I do think he would have sensed Palpatine's evil as well. Everything revolved around removing him early. Almost as soon as Palpatine became aware of his presence, and indeed once Qui-Gon was out of the way, he moved very quickly towards Anakin, taking advantage of Qui-Gon's death while the other Jedi were still mourning him. So while Qui-Gon was less powerful than the likes of Yoda and Mace Windu, Palpatine feared him more, because essentially he was a wildcard. And with Sidious executing a decades-long plan to seize power and destroy the Jedi, a wildcard was something he just didn't really need.